what I've wanted ever since I was a little girl. Like, I'd love to be a pop star.
Pop star. Knew it. Fucking knew it. Saw it from a mile away.
Promise you we're doing a mental health Q&A. Just give me a second.
How to work through feeling like too much time has passed to still be upset.
Who are you surrounding yourself with to talk about this? Because I know that you love to remind me of how venting actually just makes things worse.
I feel like so much of that messaging is telling you that you're not enough and you need this and that'll solve you now being enough.
This is the episode of me telling Meadow no notes.
Okay, real quick before we dive in, I have to show you what I'm giving Cece for her birthday this weekend because I think your inner child is going to get a big
Cece is one of her best friend's babies.
Yeah, she's turning 4.
So I guess she's not that big of a baby anymore.
I know, she's like a big girl.
Is that a mermaid tail? Wait, I want one.
Is that the cutest thing you've ever seen?
That's a really good gift.
I had this growing up and I was obsessed. You put your little feet in and then you're a little mermaid because she's such a water baby.
Oh, she's a good swimmer.
She's such a good swimmer. For a 4-year-old, I'm so impressed.
She's going to love that. She's going to love that.
So we should all get them, honestly.
No, we should. Honestly, not to turn this into about me, but like, can I just tell you that nothing has ever pissed me off more than when Maddie told me the first time that we went to Newport together. I'm leaving this out, people. The first time we went to Newport together, and I think it was like my first year living in LA, and I was like, guys, how the fuck you're fending for your lives with these waves, like when you guys are swimming? And she was like, maybe you're just like not a strong swimmer. And I was like, I used to go spearfishing with my guy friends and my ex-boyfriend and my family friends. I was like, I would dive deep. I'm like, I'm just sorry that this water is not meant to be fucking relaxed in.
No, this water is meant to learn how to swim in a triathlon or whatever it is. And I used to think you were being a baby too, even though I know this water isn't the Caribbean because I've been to the Caribbean. But then again, you took me to Miami, and was I in the water for 2 hours?
Yes, and you guys both left me alone after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand now. I get it now.
Anyway, I just had to
imagine we're all at the beach.
I'm sure you've seen weirder things in California beaches. Do you like my Marion?
How have you been in the past day? I haven't talked to you. Let me see.
Marion Bright.
It's
from Zoe's work. It's from his Christmas party or holiday party that they had, and it's become my favorite mug.
Mine is obviously your Luke's mug now because I used to use it at your house without getting it, and now I get it.
I love
for anyone listening, keeping up. I was gonna say for anyone listening, keeping up with my Gilmore Girls journey. I haven't told you this too. Lorelai proposed to Luke.
Okay, so notice the eye roll. Sorry, I'm just getting adjusted over here.
And Rory dropped out of Yale.
Right. So this is about to become they needed this in the plot, the Lorelai and Rory fight. Because it hasn't happened this big yet.
Right. Where they really are at a point of discontention.
The next season is a struggle.
Oh man.
You hate everyone the whole season.
Yeah, because I'm really not having fun right now.
No, Lorelai, bro, fucking conceal your trauma a little bit better. That the minute that you and your daughter get into a fight, she fucking goes and proposes to Luke. Like when you're not talking to the kid.
And when she was giving that whole speech about like, we had this planned, this was our plan. No, this was you trying to rewrite your own history that didn't happen in your daughter. She has her own life. Like she can have her own plan.
The thing with the boat already
so hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is when I was texting you like, what's his name is so fucking privileged. I don't like him anymore.
Yeah. And in the beginning, for the next couple of episodes in the first half of the Rory and Lorelai fight, you're not going to like him. And then you're going to like him again.
Okay. I believe you. I liked him at the beginning. I was like, he's charming. He's getting her out of her, he's like a little bit like getting her out of her shell. He's a fucking prick,
but like he's fun.
Right, exactly.
I started Unprisoned season 2. This is just becoming a fucking culture podcast show.
Sorry.
I promise you we're doing a mental health Q&A. Just give me a second. I started season 2. You know who's in it and plays the like not licensed but really smart life coach?
Oh no.
John Stamos.
Do you know my story about John Stamos making eye contact with me in high school at a private concert at the private school down the street from mine? And I was like, oh, he's flirting with me. Do you know this story?
I don't. Tell it.
That's basically the
Oh,
extent of it.
okay. Thank
It
you.
was like a private school next to the school that I went to. And like my friend's mom had bought a table and people didn't come, like one of those things.
Yeah.
And kids weren't allowed there. There was like kids up on the whatever, higher up in the gym, but kids weren't allowed. And for whatever reason, me and my friend got to go. So it's all these like 50-year-old moms throwing themselves at the Beach Boys and John Stamos. And then it's like me and my friend being like 17 and hot and young.
It just, you're going to love his character too, because he's so funny and like so smart. But because he's like not licensed and this woman is a therapist, they like really fight in the beginning. And he's like now rocking her world into like actually like really helping and healing this woman.
Okay.
It's,
I'm going to say, Aaron and I watched an episode and a half last night and we're like not super impressed.
well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's a millennial show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I don't think this is like
I'm assuming it gets better.
yeah, I think you
Or
just
is
get
it the
like a
same?
little, I think you just grow attachment. So you just get
Okay.
attached to the storyline.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Because
it's like
Aaron was impressed because he was like, oh, if they're doing what I think they're doing, it's going to be like a funny bit, but also they're educating people on psychology, which is cool.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah, I think that's the point. I don't
yeah,
really know, but I'm assuming that's the point. But at the beginning, we were both like,
yeah.
but we'll see.
Give
Keep
it a
an open.
couple of
But you know, pilots are hard.
Pilots
So
are
I'll
hard.
give it a couple
Give it a
episodes.
couple
Yeah.
eps. I'm not saying that this show is like the best thing ever written.
No, but you're having a fun time with
You're
it.
having a fun time.
Right.
Touching on themes that I
Right.
think are interesting.
I'll keep you updated on my thoughts and feels, obviously.
Yeah, please do. Okay, should we dive in?
Okay. Yeah. And I'm asking you questions today, which is so much fun because usually the roles are reversed. And so anytime it's like this, it's fun for us. Let's start with an easy one.
Okay.
Gabby,
Uh-huh.
did you figure out how to find joy?
We're trying. We talked about it in the last episode. I'm doing things that okay, how do I want to say this? It's not complex. I just feel like I've been writing all day and staring at a computer, and so words are a little bit tough for me right now.
Fair.
Yes. Short answer, yes. We talked about it last week. I think I'm just doing things to try and set myself up to not focus on the outcome of shit. So, as I mentioned in the last episode, I have started working out and becoming more consistent with my workouts. And we all know that endorphins, yay, make you happy. So that's been helping and also just giving me more energy. And then, more than anything, also been teaching me, or not teaching me, it's been conditioning my mind to believe that I am accountable and capable of doing things, because I think the theme that was leading to the no joy anywhere to be found season was this underlying self-talk of I'm not capable of XYZ. And I was really hyper focused on I'm not capable of achieving my dreams and my goals. And then that bled into everything else. And so showing myself and training my mind that like I'm capable of getting up and going to the fucking gym has been trickling into the other things. Yeah.
I shared with Aaron because if you listen to last week's episode again, I am now working out because Gabby's working out and I just have to do everything you do. But I did share with him, it's fun because I'll find myself truly in the moment of doing something hard, like a burpee or something, being like, this is a metaphor for my manifestations. Like, if I can do this,
No,
then I can do
really.
that. It's mind over matter. Like, and I tell myself that in the moment as I'm doing it. And it really does, it almost like builds self-trust.
That's what my
Cool way.
newsletter was about. It's going out in
Shut
2
up.
minutes. It goes out at 2:22 p.m. on today, Thursday, July
Of course it
25th.
does.
I scheduled it, and it's literally I think the title is why working out, or how working out helped me trust myself, or something like that.
You and I, baby. You and
It's
me,
really
right
what
here.
it is, because we can
It
do
is
hard
what it is.
things.
Thank you, Glennon Doyle.
Yes. You're welcome. Just needed to remind you.
Also, I think it's really fun for us to be in our fun and fit era when at present, the time of recording, the opening ceremony of the Olympics is tomorrow morning.
Okay, can I
It's
just
a really
tell
fun
you,
time for us.
I am so excited. I think I'm gonna have a watch party of one, me and Zoe too, at
This
my
is
house.
how badly do you want to live together
know.
in the same city? Because this is all I want to do with you is this type of
Yeah,
shit.
he did not know this about me. Like fucking love Olympic gymnastics in the Olympics.
Of course.
And they start on Sunday.
Who doesn't?
And I've also been watching Simone Biles' documentary that's in
I
real
haven't seen it
time.
yet.
So
Is
the
it
next
good?
episode, yes, and it's like in real time. So they filmed 2 episodes came out, and then it's leading up to the Olympics. So the other episode has not come out yet.
Okay, okay, Simone Biles unpacking in real time. Are you stealing our brand
No, no, no,
or
wild. Wait, I read somewhere
just
else someone talking about learning in real time or healing in real time and why that's so powerful. I think I wrote it down because I was like, who said this? Where I was like, that's our brand. And I'm so glad
we
that.
need to trademark healing in real time because we've been saying that for 3
No,
years,
I
maybe?
don't even mean that in a way that's not like,
No, no, I know.
I don't know
I'm
where
being
the fuck I
facetious, of
read it,
course.
but I genuinely was like, I also used the
How
word
cool.
facetious today and I thought of you. I used it in my newsletter.
One of my favorites. Thank you very much.
Anyway, not to harp. We're finding joy again. Yay.
We're so excited about it. If you want to
Yeah.
hear about more details, last
Listen to last
unpacking.
week. Yeah.
This is an interesting one. How to work through feeling like too much time has passed to still be upset. Okay, great, because I have a lot to say.
Go ahead.
I did make notes because I got to write the questions this
Okay.
week. So rather than being off the cuff, I have notes this week. A lot of questions. So obviously, again, there's no context here. So a lot of questions just came to mind for me immediately when hearing this. Have you fully acknowledged your feelings? Are there new needs that you need to express or sort out? Have you released your feelings through your body, whether you work out or shake them out or watch a somatic healing video on YouTube? Has there been a change in behavior or belief, if necessary, to then act aligned afterwards? And overall, I just think this is an example of a beautiful question to bring to therapy. This is exactly the type of shit that I
Mhm.
used to work out in therapy, that I find having someone there to hold the balance of having the context and this beautiful question to then work through all the subsequent things that come up with it. I think
Mhm.
this is just a great thing to bring to a therapist if you have access to one.
Yeah. And keep track of how you're working through it in therapy. What I mean by this is I know somebody who has had the same therapist for the last decade and is still talking about the same thing that
Mhm.
they were talking about a decade ago. And it's
Right,
so annoying. And so I'm
right.
like, okay, are they also just keeping you stuck ruminating? Because where my brain went was the changing the belief and new behavior. And then
Mhm. Same.
more so my immediate gut reaction, especially if it's not like that serious, like if we're not talking about some sort of abuse or grief or whatever, like it's
Mhm.
not as serious. I think of what Karen was talking about, even if it is that serious, about like the victim mentality,
Yeah.
about keeping yourself in there.
The allure of victimhood. I love
Hmm.
when she said that.
It's
Yeah.
easy to stay in that. And then
Yeah.
also my brain goes to, who are you surrounding yourself with to talk about this? Because I know that you love to remind me of how venting actually just makes things worse. It's not to say that you are not allowed to vent or that I can't call
Of
Meadow and
course.
vent,
Of course.
but just know that like it's going to amp you up more.
Be an active participant in what you're doing, right? Like
Mhm.
know what you're getting yourself into if you're going to do it. I said this to our
Literally.
dear friend Annika. She was talking about, she wasn't venting, but she was talking about something she was going through. And I said to her, let's just be abundantly clear. Like, you're doing the dance. I have no problem with doing a dance. I've done the
Right.
dance. I could cha cha all day. Like, I'm no judgment, but like, let's be abundantly clear that you know that you're dancing and just put that on the table that like we know
Mhm.
we're doing that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like do what you got to do, but let's be conscious of the choice we're making, even if it's a choice that requires us to go through the rigmarole before we do the healing or, whatever labels you want to
Yep.
slap onto it.
Do you know what too? Sometimes I find myself ruminating. You know how they always are like the people that are you're in the shower and you're thinking about the thing that you could have said to somebody in that conversation instead. I
Of
find
course.
myself like ruminate not as much these days on certain things, but I would over the last couple of years would ruminate a lot on like one certain thing, like this one situation in my head. And I realized it was because I was more so embarrassed by my action in it and how I handled
Mm,
it that I could not get over it because I was like, this person thinks X of me
mm.
because I acted so out of character in that moment.
I know exactly what you're
I know
talking
you
about.
do. And so I'm like, I was ruminating on
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
that is continuing to reinforce your first point of changing your beliefs and your behaviors
Right.
and just moving the fuck on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great answer.
No notes.
Frankly, another really good therapy question.
Okay.
Just going to start with that. How to heal a trauma bond. First of all, we have a very old episode, which I should probably go back and listen to because knowing us, we've probably drastically changed our mind on this
Right.
on fuck, what is it even called? Like unpacking toxic and abusive relationships? I don't even know what it's
Oh
called, but we've both
God.
been in toxic situations.
Uh-huh.
I would definitely call mine a trauma bond. I feel like you would as well, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. But we've talked openly about that experience before. So just laying the groundwork for folks that maybe are new to listening. We have experiences being in dynamics like this. So I'm going to try to speak to my own personal experience and also like mental health knowledge that we all know and love. First and foremost, similar to any breakup, not sure if this is a romantic situation or not, but similar to any sort of breakup, focusing on the present and coming back home to yourself is always my TLDR. That's always the like overarching theme of things. So getting back into what self-care looks like for you, rebuilding self-trust. I had a really big thing with healing after that relationship where it was almost like a mix of grieving and forgiving myself for my own naivete, for lack of a better term. I talk about it in that old episode of processing being in school to study psychology and having worked multiple mental health jobs and yet finding myself in an abusive relationship and not realizing it till after the fact more so. And so that like building the self-trust and also forgiving yourself for going through that was a big theme for me personally. Exploring your relationship boundaries and maybe going back to healthy relationships, whether it's a friendship or family, and kind of looking at different models or educating yourself on what attachment styles are or what healthy relationships look like, and kind of honestly, recalibrating your baseline. That's kind of how I think of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What comes to mind for you?
No, same. No notes. I like your trauma informed response too. So I'm just going to zip it.
Cool. Love it. We'll keep going. Okay, fun one.
Okay.
And I'm curious about this answer for you. I had to really think about it for a second.
Oh, fuck.
If you had to choose a career path different from the one you chose, what would it be? And you can word association, like do first things that come to mind.
Okay, because there was something that immediately came to my brain, which is what
I feel like I watched it happen.
because it's what I think
in your
about.
eyes.
And you and I were talking about it the other day, and then I saw a meme yesterday that I was like, yeah, correct. If I could live in Stars Hollow
Oh, here we go.
and own a bakery, so I'm the romanticized bakery worker, okay,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
where I'm not bleeding money. It's just this little bakery that just like appeared, and I get to run it and own it, and like everything's smooth and fun, and I get to bake stuff. And I have my little romance and husband over there in Stars Hollow, and it's fun. And I just live in this parallel universe.
Uh-huh.
I'd love it.
Literally on my list is wine shop owner / cafe owner. Like I wanted to be a cafe in the morning with like a gallery space, like open to the community, but like bar at night.
Sure.
That's
Great.
fully on my list. And also something I really think I want to do in like my 70s. Wherever I retire and land when I'm older, like a badass hippie 70s woman, like serving you coffee and wine. Come on, imagine the shit I would get up to.
Yeah.
Those conversations?
Love it.
Right up my alley. I had two other ones that came to mind for me to give you a moment to think about your other ones. Obviously, dermatologist.
I need more than one. I thought the question was just one. But go ahead.
If you had to choose. Well, I had a couple options come to mind. I can't choose. I'm a manifesting generator. I've got a couple options.
Go.
Okay, so like dermatologist or esthetician, obviously, just because I'm like genuinely so obsessed with skincare. It's my favorite thing to talk about besides mental health and spirituality. Now that I'm talking about it, full-time witch sounds really good. But my other one that I think you'll very much see for me is art curator or like a museum director. Oh. That could totally be something that I get up to.
I love all of those.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it really adds up for me, I thought.
I like that a lot. We can do all of them. I think that mine is assuming talent can just be developed overnight. what I've wanted ever since I was a little girl. Like I'd love to be a pop star.
Pop star. Knew it. Fucking knew it. Saw it from a mile away. Yeah,
Like I'd love to be.
absolutely.
I'm not even
Losing
saying
choir.
because like the music is that, but like I'd love to be like a Dua Lipa.
Of course. Of
You know what I
course.
mean?
Absolutely, I do.
So I feel
Hey,
like I see
you
that
heal
for me.
that taking away attention from other people, and who knows? You could go solo, baby.
I mean,
We Thoughts
listen.
May Vary breaks up, and Gabby goes solo to be a pop star.
I mean,
How
guys,
iconic!
listen. We're in the era of Charlie XCX where autotune is a vibe. So get my ass back in dance
Listen,
classes.
I love
Give me some
T-Pain.
autotune and put
Give
me
us
on a
some autotune.
fucking stage. Now that I'm working out, she's unstoppable.
Game over.
When I was
If
little,
we break up, you hit her hair first.
I used to try and write songs all the time, and they were so bad.
I hope you have a journal at home just filled with them.
It was very Taylor Swift core, her first ever album, where it's like, it's raining outside. Let's
And
dance
I
in the
like a
rain.
boy.
I like a boy. Yeah.
Yeah, totally see that for you.
Never worked very well. Hey everyone, popping in to say thank you to all of the amazing people who listen and watch this podcast. We're so grateful for each and every one of you and truly cannot say thank you enough for tuning in every single week.
In order for us to keep bringing you all great conversations and continue building our community and raising the bar, we're asking you for some simple and free support. Subscribe to our channel, follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts, and keep up with us on social at Thoughts May Vary Pod.
And if you're looking to dive even deeper, you can join our exclusive Patreon community and download Co-Create, our digital manifestation journal filled with over 150 prompts to help guide your curiosity and unlock new layers of yourself.
Thanks for being here. Tips or feedback on how to guide anticipatory grief and staying grounded and present.
I was just I feel like it feels like you're like someone's ill.
Yeah, this feels very akin to my experience of losing my dad, where I had both. There was an accident that he went through where all of a sudden my dad was fine and now he's in the hospital and like supposedly dying within 12 hours, but it turned into a 55-day stay in the ICU. So it was like this overnight thing, but then I had 55 days of him in and out of a coma to reckon with the fact of he's probably going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking from that experience and that lens, I feel like I'm in a broken record here, but one, you got to allow yourself to feel it. You got to feel everything you're feeling right now if you can. It just will help you so much in that transition. I would really, really, really recommend listening, or I think he has a book on it too. Ram Dass, his huge crux of his work was helping people that were dying. And by helping, I mean like sitting with them
I
and
didn't know
talking with
that.
them and talking. Oh, it's a big part of his work is that transition and just like holding space for people in that transition, talking about what it means, feeling big feelings, how to show up in that way. I think there's a lot of access to that information online because I swear I've looked it up for someone before. So I'll try to find a website and pop it in the show notes. But he's someone that I really look to towards that. In my case, again, my dad was in and out of a coma, but even by out of it, like we never were able to speak to each other
Mm-hmm.
during that time. If you are, I think that really opens the door for beautiful conversations
Yeah.
about just showing up and being together. Can you like mindfully color together? Can you talk about what life means? Can you talk about what they're proud of themselves for? Can you talk about like their feelings of transition, as long as you also have an outlet to process that separately? Like, I think that's all like these creating these moments of joy or presence together. And I have them in my head. Obviously, I couldn't speak to him, but I have them of like holding my dad's hand. And I think I've told you this story before when the nurse came in and I was like, oh, he squeezed my hand. Like, I think that means that he
Mm-hmm.
is like aware that we're here and what's going on. And they're like, nope, that's just a response of his body. Your dad's fully in a coma. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he's just squeezing, that's just a body response.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-huh. They're telling this to a fucking teenager whose dad
Right.
is dying in front of them. And they walked out of the room and I said, I'm holding my dad's hand and I whispered in his ear, like, that that nurse was such a bitch. I know that I'm here and what I'm saying right now. And he did this and just squeezed it over and over and over again. So like even whatever moments you can have of presence. I remember the day my dad died, there was 2 hours that I was alone in his hospice room with him. and I was sitting on the other side. He was in the bed. I was sitting on the other side reading Harry Potter because that was the only thing that took me out of my present situation and like allowed me like some healthy escapism.
Yeah.
And I remember saying out loud, like, this is really overwhelming for me. I love you so much. I'm here for you. I want to spend some time with you. And in the same way that being my father's daughter, like I'll be sitting here and reading. And I said, holler if you need anything. He can't talk. He's like intubated. I'm like, holler if you need anything. And I like just sat by his bed and read. And it was like my last 2 hours of like comfortable silence with my dad, whether he
Mm,
could feel that I was there or not. So like just finding those moments in whatever way you can. And I think what helps find those moments and stay grounded and present is you got to continue to take care of yourself. You have to eat, you have to feed yourself, you have to shower and get outside and go on neighborhood walks. If you can journal, if you can meditate, if you can talk to a therapist. I know that's super overwhelming. Even if
mm,
you just pick one, even if you
yeah.
just remember to feed yourself and shower, I'm proud of you. But like, you have to also keep living your life as you're processing this transition time.
Mm. That was so beautifully said.
Oh, good.
This is the episode of me telling my own no notes.
Have you experienced anticipatory grief before?
Only once, and it was my dad's mom,
Mhm.
and she had dementia and she
Oh,
was in
that's
her
really hard with
she
the
was
Alzheimer's. I think that happens a lot.
my grandpa was all had Alzheimer's, my dad's dad, but I was so young that I don't really remember. I
Yeah.
was like my parents had just gotten divorced, so I was like 7 or 8. And so I don't remember that super clearly. I remember when my dad told me. But with my
Sure.
grandma, we hadn't seen her in years because my dad was like she was living in Ecuador. Once my grandfather
Mm.
passed, she moved to Ecuador to live with the rest of my cousins and stuff over there. And my dad was like once she got really sick, my dad was just like, I don't want to see her like that. And just kind of
Mm.
put that boundary up. And I hadn't seen her in like 8 years. And then
Yeah.
we went when I was in college for my cousin's wedding. And at this point, my grandma was like 98. And I
Wow.
know. And I went to my aunt's house to see her, and my sister and I went into the room with her, and the nurse and my aunt both told me, like, "Just be prepared for what like, you haven't seen her in a long time, and, like, she's not there."
Mhm.
And so we sat with her, and we just kind of had that moment where we were just talking to her, and she was holding our hand, and
Cool.
there was, like, one moment of the, like, glimpse of, like, she's there for a second.
Lucidness. Yeah.
Mhm. Which, like, I'll tell you offline the story,
Cool.
but yeah, that was the only time that my sister and I sort of went through that because the other big moments of grief were so unexpected. I knew when I left I was never gonna see her again. They
Mhm.
weren't like she's gonna die, but
Right.
she was 98 and had
You
dementia
knew.
for, like, the last decade.
Yeah.
So, we knew. But no, I don't not that I can speak on, I feel like in a helpful way for somebody because my heart
Yeah.
feels so much for you and what you experienced with your dad, and I just know that you know how to support people so much during a time like that, that I'm just like, "You fucking take it away,
Well,
bitch."
I have so much compassion for your dad making that decision because the first 2 weeks that my dad was in the hospital, I said the same thing. Like I went when the accident happened, I went that night to say bye because they literally said, "Come bring your children to say bye to him. He
Yeah,
won't survive the night." And like the way he looked and the way bodies changed, like it was so jarring that for the next 2 weeks, it was shocking that he was still alive, but I was like, "I won't go." Like, I know that I was my dad's precious angel. Like, I know
yeah,
him like, we were best friends. I know what he would want. I don't wanna see him that way anymore. But then I was like, "This motherfucker just keeps living. So fuck you. Now I gotta come." So then I went, but
yeah,
I'm so grateful I did, of course, in the end, but
yeah,
I have so much compassion for your dad making that choice because that's hard.
yeah. I mean, both my dad and my mom always tell my sister and I, they're like, for lack of a better phrase, they're like, "If I'm ever a fucking vegetable, like, unplug me and don't come." Like, just I don't want you to see me like that. Like, I don't want you to have to deal with me. I never want to be a burden on you.
Yeah.
And
My
not
mom
that
says the
it,
same thing.
yeah, and like, not that I'm saying that that's how my dad felt about his mom because I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was sort of that feeling of like, I don't want to taint this image that I have of her, which there are also
Yeah.
other thoughts over where I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna leave your fucking sister to have to deal with this by
No,
herself?
of course. Of
But
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there's nuance to everything.
go on.
It's funny because I've had that conversation with my mom and Aaron because now that I'm married, I, I was like, Aaron is my what is it called? Like power of attorney or whatever. Cause I was like, the way my
Yeah.
mom would pull the plug on me so fast that Aaron would like actually think twice about. Like my mom would be like, oh, brain dead, love you, bye. Boop. Like
Oh,
I
see,
swear to God. I was like, I do not trust you to make that decision. Aaron can make that decision because he will be like make sure everything's taken care of before that's the option.
see, what's so funny is that when my dad had to do that, like, it was the conversation was who will do it the fastest. Like, it was the
No,
total
literally.
opposite. He's like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Who's
yeah.
not gonna be emotional about it?"
Oh man. Really, really sending you so much love and light and
Yeah,
compassion for
truly.
whatever the situation it is that you're going through. And if you want to send us a follow-up DM, obviously we do Q&As all the time. So if you have more context or more to say or more you're processing, we're here for you.
Yeah. Thank you for writing in.
Um, a fun one to follow that up with. What is bringing you both comfort nowadays?
Oh, that's sweet.
The things that immediately came to mind for me when I heard this, obviously because I was with her today, but one, hanging out with Cece, like being with a little 4-year-old,
Yeah.
that girl has such a clear and strong sense of self
Oh, how cool.
that is, first of all, coolest thing in the world. And second of all, is so fun to think about, oh my gosh, like all the programming and processing and trauma, little t big t, like all the things we go through as humans that like disconnect us from our pure selves. And it's so cool to see like a tiny being that is just like so grounded in that sense of self and who she is. And that's
Mm,
super, one, hopeful, and two, inspiring, because I feel like so much of what you and I do is get back to that version of self that I really love. And then also just like family time, like hanging out with Aaron. I'm hanging out with my mom a lot more. My mom is officially retired elementary school librarian. She put in the work and she's retired. We're so excited about it. But so hanging out with her and like that transition of family dynamics, like I'm just getting a lot of comfort from being around people I love and spending quality time, frankly.
mm,
And also, oh, you know what? This kind of just popped in my head, and this is kind of random, but also something I feel like we should unpack on the podcast sometime. I have obviously we all know that I have my Finsta of just feel good. So I don't
mhm.
like follow people for work and it's just my little shit mood board
Yeah.
that I just like for creative stuff. But having a separate space, either like that Finster or just in general, I feel like I've really curated my feed to like not make me want to buy shit and actually just
Love.
be inspired or expand my mind and like really trying to like decentralize my capitalism content has been so comforting of like, oh, I am enough. Like it's not like I'm not enough, you need to buy this Botox, or I'm not enough, you need to buy this cool shirt. Like I feel like so much of that messaging is telling you that you're not enough and you need this and that'll solve you
Mhm.
now being enough. And really strategically separating myself from content that pushes that has been very refreshing.
Good, you needed that, so
I don't
I'm
know if
proud of you.
comforting is the word. Yeah, I did need that. So thank you very
Mhm.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proud of you. Um, hmm. My mind just, like,
What?
really went I'm like, "Is this a trauma response?" And my mind really was like, "My favorite comfort place is me." Like, it literally is.
Oh,
Like,
no, that's so sweet.
I really have been spending a lot more time alone lately. I think now that Zoe has moved and he lives closer to me, we ironically spend less time together because, like, I think before it was this thought of like, "Oh, you're coming from so far away, so we're gonna spend like 5 days in a row," or whatever it was. We still
Right.
see each other all the fucking time, but I've been having more just space, like, alone, and I love it, and
Of course you do.
it's really comforting, and, like, even last night, I was like I made myself dinner and cleaned the kitchen, and then everything in the kitchen was clean, and then I, like, closed my little blinds and, like, watched an episode of my show, made some tea, and then I, like, got in bed at, like, 9, but, like, kept watching my show until, like, 10, and then I was like, "Oh, best night ever," and I just
I love that.
find comfort sometimes I think I talk myself out of I try and convince myself that it's wrong that I like being home, because I feel like
Oh, I
you know what
love
I mean?
being
Like,
home.
I feel like society
Yeah.
is really like, "Don't be a hermit, don't be a hermit," but I don't think I'm a hermit. Like, I just think
You're absolutely not.
like, I hang out with my friends all the time. I'm a social person.
But you've created your own little safe, sacred
I
space and
fucking
your
love
silly
this
little routines
apartment.
that provide so much comfort, and you're a Taurus at the end of the day. Like, you have it's such a beautiful little shell. Like, I think about, like, a cute little
Yeah,
crab in their shell or something. Like, you have such a cute little bubble to
my
come home
bubble.
to that, like,
No, it's
refreshes your energy.
I fucking love being in this apartment. I really
I
do.
love being in that apartment.
It just
Your new table is really doing something for me. It's kind of changed everything.
that and the new rug
It's a
completely
different
changed.
vibe.
Completely
Yeah.
much more grown.
Yes. Absolutely.
Much more grown.
Absolutely. I love that table.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Wayfair. Shout out.
Cannot wait to come hang out at it more.
Go ahead.
Last one.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing mental health,
Mm,
which we love and is our Patreon vibe. If you love this vibe,
mhm.
shameless plug. What are your favorite things to cook right now?
Oh my god, I have a hyperfixation pasta right now.
Ooh,
And
tell
it's
us.
like little kid pasta. Okay. It's
Great.
just all the greens in my fridge. So like that's not the little kid part. Okay. But the spinach, like wilted broccoli and peas, or like some snap
Yeah.
peas, whatever, just cooked in like a really good butter with just literally
Yep.
just butter and lemon
Parm and lemon.
and a
Yeah.
lot of um grated garlic, and then a little bit of pasta water, fuckload of parm, and then bow tie pasta.
Nothing wrong with that,
Oh
baby.
my, I've had it twice this week.
Nothing
It is
wrong
and
with
then
that.
some grilled chicken, just, like, right on top mixed in a big bowl.
I
Oh,
can't do chicken with pasta. I'm really anti chicken and pasta, but I
okay,
totally
fair.
understand it.
But it's just, like,
Yeah.
my little kid meal that I feel like parents feed their kid when they're like,
Love
"You
it.
need greens, but I'm gonna give you, like, butter
Totally.
and cheese here."
Exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, with, like, some red pepper
Gorgeous.
flakes. So my
Gorgeous.
hyperfixation of the week. How about you?
It's funny, my hyperfixation for the past couple months, which is a noodle, is that
Yeah.
Asian cold noodle salad that I've
Yeah.
done. I feel like I'm kind of bored of food right now. What's helping me is one, since having Elisa Vidi on, I was not super cycle syncing with cycle specific ingredients. And
Mhm.
that's just something I've been playing with just for fun because I've kind of been bored of food. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is challenging in a different way. So I've just been doing intuitive meals like that. Like I told you before this, I made a giant fried rice with just like every vegetable
Yum.
in the world and tofu last night because I was just trying to get every veggie in. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of like a little bit bored. So I'd love to. I literally texted a friend last week, like, what are you cooking right now? And a butcher shop had just opened up near them. And so they were sending me a bunch of fun recipes that look like out of my comfort zone to cook
Mm.
that I'm gonna, just because I'm not a big, I'm not a big protein girl, not a big red meat girl, like whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I need the protein because now Gabby's taking away my cottage cheese because I might have overdone it with the dairy, y'all. So
I laugh, I smile and laugh when you tell me that you're not a protein girl because the way that Meadow presents is as like the bitch who is just like in the butcher shop and like at the, owning the wine and cheese shop, and like she can cook all the raw things and make all the foods. Like that's
I
how you
love that I
present.
present that. I'm really
We're like
stroking my
stopping the
ego in
baby.
a
Like,
way that I
no, no,
love.
no. She is like,
Uh-huh.
no one is more terrified of raw chicken than Meadow.
No, I don't like raw. No, I'm not like meat in general. I'm like, eh. Like yeah. I make a really good chicken katsu. Like I can make it like a curry udon, which is chicken.
Right.
Like I make a good chicken katsu, but like I've never cooked a steak in my life because that was my dad. My dad
Mhm.
made a fucking steak every night. Everyone in my family knew him. I just was like, gross.
It's
Like I don't eat
honestly, steak
steak.
is the
I don't
easiest
make
thing to do.
pork.
You
I
don't
don't
have to
make
touch it.
beef. I don't like any, but I don't like it. Like it's
Yeah.
not yummy to me.
Oh, then that's a different conversation. Okay.
Yeah, no. Like I would never order a steak at a restaurant ever. If someone orders it and it's good, I will happily try a bite, but I
Okay.
would never order one for
This
myself.
explains the why you
Absolutely not.
order a veggie sandwich every time it's available.
Oh, I love a
Like,
veggie sandwich.
nothing will
I've
gross me
always
out more than
been
that.
just a veggie girl. No, I didn't even like turkey till like my 20s. Like I just am not
Wow.
into meat at
No
all,
wonder
really.
you're on the cottage
Love
cheese
seafood.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You
I
can get
love
you can buy little
seafood and I
shrimpies and get
love
your protein
veggies.
from shrimp.
Yep. Yeah, and Aaron loves shrimp, so
I love
honestly, that would
shrimp
make him
too.
really happy if I put more shrimp in there.
The
But
easiest
I
thing in the
love
world to
making
make.
salmon.
Mhm.
I used to make like whitefish, like a halibut or something, or like a macadamia crusted whitefish. I love
What's
fish.
that, like, fish delivery I need, like, a good delivery service that is, like, really
Oh,
fresh, that I can
right.
just keep it in the freezer, because that's why I don't cook fish, is because I go to Whole Foods and it makes me wanna die.
No, Whole Foods salmon literally made me spit it out and throw it out months ago. I
Disgusting.
only get my salmon at the farmer's market.
I
I have
know.
a specific fish guy at the farmer's market that I'm super committed to that I love. But there's definitely those like delivery services that do a good job. We just have to do I'll
Do
ask
a
my
little
friend.
research
I have
because
an internet friend that would be a really good person to ask.
okay, please ask. Somebody told me about
Okay.
one recently that I cannot for the life of me remember, but let us know. That was fun.
That was very fun. Thank you all for sending your lovely,
Yeah.
beautiful, thoughtful questions as always.
We appreciate every single one of you.
Love and light, peace and blessings.
And go
See you
shake some
soon.
ass.
Go shake some ass. It's summer, baby. Go shake some ass.
Vibe switch.
Go party in the sun. Love you. Bye. Be a mermaid.
How's it going, y'all? It's Aaron. Don't let your Monday suck. Don't have those Sunday scaries. I'm tired of everybody waking up in the week saying, shit, it's Monday. You know what goes down? TMV releases every week on Mondays. Make sure you rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're watching YouTube, yes, TMV has a YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and ring that noti bell and never miss a thing. And also, join the TMV Familia by joining the Thoughts May Vary Patreon and by following at Thoughts May Vary Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you for listening.
Great.
There you go.
Thanks, Ivy.
Got y'all.